All right, welcome to Duke TV Online. We're still very much here in Ikeja, the heart of Lagos. Thank you for joining us once again. My name is Wahid Olabode Gabadin, the CEO, Duke TV Online. And joining me today, as usual, is my brother, my friend, my partner, my buddy, the one that you will easily guess before I even show his face. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, join me to welcome me to the studio once again, Mr. B. Johnson, BJ.
But man, nice to be here.
I don't even know why I'm always happy when I see you. Maybe you don't do juju for me.
Well, he catch you.
He catch you.
He catch you. Once you have...
let it keep catching me.
Let it
keep catching me.
Now that you agree.
Yes.
Let it keep catching you.
This kind of juju I want.
It's always a pleasure to see you anyway.
Thank you.
All the time.
Thank you.
Almost 50 years. That's it.
It's
always been a pleasure.
It's not mean at all.
It's not a small thing.
Yes, so thank you.
Nice
You're
to
welcome.
be here. Yes.
Welcome.
Nice to be here.
All right. Okay. As 2027 warms up, 2027 is even good when we're in 2025. The 2026 was like a screen, dividing us from 2027. But now it's staring directly at this 2027 around the corner.
Yes.
And a component of the country, because any state of Nigeria is a component of Nigeria.
That's true.
One of the components of Nigeria, which is a river state this time around, is again in the news. As a matter of fact, the news is trending. And probably for wrong reasons. Or if I may put it modestly, for a reason not too desirable like that. And I'm talking principally about the crisis. Prolonged crisis. If I may describe it as unnecessary. Prolonged crisis between the current Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Mr. Ayenzom Wike, and the Governor of Rivers State, Mr. Similai Fubara. Now, before I begin to ask questions, from left to right, I want to, Mr. Johnson, I want us to begin this way because of our viewers who may be at a loss as to the foundation to all this. What is the genesis of this crisis that appears to be so prolonged and it has defied all manners of solutions? What is the genesis?
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Olabode Gabadin. Nice to be here. We have to give it a background. And
exactly.
The background is all about a former governor who unpicked its successor, and everything went smooth. And then I think the successor is trying to be his own man after,
taking up
the appointment. He's just trying to be his own man. We don't know. We see a lot of things online, the agreement between them, you have to do this, you have to do that. If some of those things are true, then that must be the genesis of the whole thing. Because if you help somebody to get a job, and you want to...
At certain terms.
At certain terms. And the terms was agreed by all the parties.
Parties involved.
All the parties involved when everything was okay. In politics, they said 24 hours is a long time in politics. So if the agreement were weeks, were days in politics, they could be nullified. But at the same time, they have the agreement, everything went smooth. And thereafter, the crisis started. And then the governor shouted that, it's because he wants to control the resources of the state. And why would I be governor when you control the resources? These are all the little...
To whom do I owe my allegiance?
To whom do I owe my allegiance? Is it to the party? Is it to you?
To the individual, to the people?
Or to the people. If you control... Okay, what makes me a governor? I think we have to look at that too. Why am I a governor if somebody else is going to control all the apparatus under me? And at the end of the day, when the job is not well done, I get the blame. nobody will understand what I was going through. You know, I think some of these things, well, by the time you piece the left, the right together, you will find out that there are excesses both left, right, and center. There were excesses from the part of the governor and the part of the minister. There were excesses. And I think when the president, you know, the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, will sit you down and you come to an agreement with him, I think the onus is on them to respect that office. You have to respect the office, you have to respect the person. And this is why a little bit everybody gets confused when this thing became prolonged, just like you said. By the time the president sets in, I thought the whole thing was over. I thought the issues were already settled. But now the issues are back on the table. And now it's even more vicious than before. Because from the last time that we see what was happening, from the last time, we already having impeachment notice being sent left, right, and center. Impeachment, you know, to get the governor out of the office. We have to get the deputy out of the office. And all these things are, you know, and I pity the people of Rivers State because I want to, all this distraction will not allow proper development of the area, the governor's agenda, what he wants to do for the people. All these little distractions is the people of that state that actually suffers. And we have to agree to that, you know, how do you walk when you can't sleep? How do you sleep, you know, when you can't even do the job that you swear an oath, you know, to do? How do you maneuver between your allegiance to the people of Rivers State, your allegiance to an individual, your allegiance to the governor, and you know, all these things accumulate into the situation in which we find ourselves now. And the reports are out there, online, everywhere: impeachment.
Impeachment threats.
Yeah, impeachment threats. You know, they always we move on with the impeachment. We have to impeach him, and all of a sudden, some of the people that gather to want to do the impeachment, some of them are backtracking. You know,
under the guise of calling for peace.
Under the guise of calling for peace, you know, two people came up and said, "We call for peace. We call for peace." So, who is actually disturbing the peace of Rivers State? I think that's what we need to look at.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. BJ. All right, thank you very much, BJ. You know, as usual, you are just flowing. Now to the specifics now.
Yeah.
And I want to remember one quotation credited to Chief Olusegun Obasanjo when he was President, Federal Republic of Nigeria. I think between 1999, 2007. And it has to do with a similar crisis between Andrew Uba and something. There are two Ubas from whether Anambra or Imo, one of these southeastern states. And he made one statement that I kept in my left hand since. He said, even between criminals, between criminals, there are obligations. So, going back to issue of agreement now, or understanding or memorandum of between Wike and Fubara that could have led to all this crisis. I want to, you know, speak for the people out there that ordinarily that should not be normal, you know. People reaching agreement, offer resources, or offer the affairs that ordinarily belong to the people. That any elected person should owe his allegiance to the people who elected him. Yeah. Therefore, between Wike and the people, the governor should listen to the people more, which would then justify whatever recalcitrance or resistance he put up against the godfather or his benefactor, so to put it. So, but given this unwritten law, that even among criminal there are obligations, and even going beyond that, they used to say something like a gentleman agreement. there's this subtle talk, gentleman's agreement, which shows that I can always rely on you. When we have
an understanding, yeah,
and we always respect
you will do
it.
the right thing.
So, I'm giving background to my question. Now, again, it's also a fact, despite what I've said, it's also a fact that between godfather and beneficiary, it is always ending in crisis. It is because there's a popular Yoruba saying, are you with me? So, what if foresee, no matter how smooth relationship appears to be, it will still end with crisis. Yeah. So, but where we are going now is that people's observation then was that Fubara started the resistance too early. I'm talking of the first time when this thing, within 3 months of assuming office, the resistance has, people have said in politics, it's not played that way. Yes, you are the governor, you need to be yourself, you need to respect the mandate given to you freely by the people, and act, with autonomy, so to speak. But wisdom requires that in politics, you take a step after the step, get your footing firm on the ground. Then allow people to see the excesses of the Godfather. Make some things obvious, some concession, throw some bait of concession that people even be blaming you, that why should you accept such? So are you with me? So thereafter, when we get to now show color, people will now say, yes, he
has tried.
He has tried. And we could be talking of like 8 months, 1 year. That kind of a thing. Within 3 months, it makes people, that's on one side though. I'm not saying that's the impression of everybody. Some people have the opinion that yes, why should Wike control him? Why should he control him? That did Wike allow his own predecessors to control him? That is the position of some people. Oh, yeah. But to every coin, there will always be two sides.
2 sides, yeah.
So now all this led, to cut the story short, all this led to the emergency rule that placed Fubara on 6 months suspension and threw up Wike as a champion. Are you with me? That people now Wike is the Lord. Yeah. That he was able to pull the string from the top. And people have said it's a way to help Fubara, that even Fubara himself, beyond himself and Wike, was not too nice to the assemblymen of Rivers State. He has no respect for them. Their matters are not of any concern to him. Are you with me? So that the emergency rule was a way to save him from an impending impeachment, which will have been permanent. As for suspension will come back, which has actually come back.
Yeah.
But if it were to be impeachment, that is it.
Yeah, that is it.
And with impeachment, I cannot even contest again if you were impeached. Are you with me? So, I'm just placing all the variables on the floor. Now, coming back from suspension, prior to that, there have been moves, naturally, of reconciliation between himself, Wike, and the presidency, and other gladiators that are concerned. And from what we heard in the grapevine, a lot of agreements were reached. Of course, some of them are overbearing. Some of them are excessive. Some of them are not acceptable. But the issue is you accepted. You considered to do so. Let us even now take it as a political gimmick. Probably he has no choice.
He was cornered.
If he wanted to come back.
He was cornered.
He was cornered. Yeah, I agree with you. No, you are still coming to talk.
He was cornered.
Oh, you must sorrow. You are still coming to talk. All this thing, people do ball for striker. So, okay, you will have, when you came back, you will have some element of respect. Okay, for example, what would have stopped a governor from presenting budget to the House? And let me quickly add here. Talking about presentation of budget, some people have said during the emergency rule, there was a budget which was approved by the National Assembly and consented to by the president. That one is still alive.
It's still alive.
But when the chips are down, legally speaking, maybe I needed to be true thought. Whatever happened during the emergency rule, it's not a normal democratic standard. It's not. You have come back now. That period, that state was under emergency rule. But now it's back to democracy fully. In between it, there was a new year. For God's sake, I think there should be budget. If only to even satisfy the assemblymen in terms of reconciliation. Because they have called on him to present
a budget
severally.
He said he doesn't have a budget. There's a budget subsidy.
And those who believe he doesn't have and those who have the majority. Now, anyway, there's crisis again now. It's called for impeachment here and there. In fact, the proceeding has been initiated. A notice has been sent to the governor and his deputy.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, in between the process, we've seen 2 members. Rumor said it's 4 now, but it's substantially 2 members had opted out cleverly.
Calling for peace.
Calling for peace. Yeah. They even admitted in their speech that the governor breached the law. Yes, I want to bring that to your attention. One of the 2, the 2 spoke. The one that spoke first admitted that the governor breached. But in the interest of the state, peace, blah, blah, let us approach it differently apart from impeachment. So that's where we are now. So what's your take in all this? What kind of a politician is Fubara? What kind of a politician is Fubara? And then who's Wike? Inyesom. Who is Inyesom Wike?
Oh, God. Well, between the 2 of them, they know the agreement. They were privy to the agreement. They know exactly what happened from the beginning to the end. Majority of us are outsiders. We pick what we get from the news here and there and try to merge it together to form a front. But let's look at it this way. There was an emergency rule. The emergency rule was to create an enabling environment for peace. We all know that the emergency rule, the president cleverly declared the emergency rule so that everybody can simmer down and then we can find a common way to move forward. And I think one of the things that were put in motion then, okay, we are even talking about this. Let me digress a little bit. Wike, who is currently a member of PDP, is actually interfering with a Fubara government, which has come to APC, which happens to be an APC government now, wanting to be impeached by APC House of Assembly, APC-dominated House of Assembly. All this make the whole scenario a little bit more complicated. It is more complicated. What is Wike's stand? What does he want? What has he asked for that is difficult for them to give? You know, in politics, majority of this thing, we will hear the hearsay, we will hear from the third party, but the people concerned will not. We will never hear nothing from them. That is the key. You will never, when 2 people sit down to talk and they want you to resolve the matter, then they can tell you what is the matter. But when they are not telling you what is the matter, you cannot resolve anything. Immediately you think you have resolved it, you will find out that another one will just put another tantrum. He abused me yesterday, so we start all over again. He called me a monster 2 days after, so we start all over again. The 2 gentlemen we are talking about, they are adults. They are adults. They know exactly what they want. If it is all about control, why do you want to control? Why do you desperately want to control him? I have asked that question several times. Why do we desperately want to control Fubara? To show that he's powerful? To show that he's in charge? To give him a political clout? Political clout do have an end. All these things are not going to be there forever. Yeah. They are not going to be there forever. They can be there today, then they disappear tomorrow. And then being the mortar that we are, why do we have to destroy, before we mend? We are just mere mortar. What if tomorrow one of them is no more? Where do we go from there?
But without losing focus of your track, without losing focus, I want to play the devil's advocate here.
Okay.
When you say, why do Wike want the governor impeached? I couldn't see the hand of Wike anywhere on the street. It is the members.
But listen to me. We all know what is happening. Don't let's play, I understand where you are going. I know where you are going. Okay. Even before you get to the destination, I'm there right there before you. We all know what is happening. Okay. Anything that is being pushed by those members of House of Assembly, we all know who is behind it. They can tell you, oh, no, we are men of ourselves. I remember in the early stages of all these fracas, there was this, I bought all the forms for every election in Rivers State. So we all know where all the pressures are coming from. But my point, like I said earlier, is this. Once the commander-in-chief sits you down and provides a solution to a matter, where do we want to go after that?
Yes.
It's like getting to Supreme Court and say you still want to appeal again. To who? Whatever...
The deck stops there. The
box stops there. And whatever he has said, whatever they have decided, they should let it just play out for the benefit of the people of Rivers State. Honestly, because I keep saying that, because in all this mumbo-jumbo thing, the people of Rivers State, they are the receiving end of it. The governor that is not able to, face the job of, doing what he was elected to do. And then the people, even the communities, the people will be divided. Because I know, as human beings, some of them will be supporting A, another group will be supporting B. Even in the community, there is no peace. So why do we have a government that cannot provide peace even to his own people? And you want to rule them? These are the critical things. If you think you want to rule and you want the people to benefit, then at a point in time you should sit back and say, for the sake of the people, I will allow this to go.
Okay.
So that the people can, be a beneficiary.
And then the Rivers State can get out of negative news.
They can get out of negative.
That has been there for years now.
Rivers is a bedrock of politics. It's a fantastic
Even the economy.
But by the time you start all this, somebody is engaging this, another person is engaging that. I am definitely sure, it will affect a lot of problems. All these things will cut across the government. I'm telling you the truth. There will be people under Fubara that will be supporting Wike. There will be people under Wike that will be having some kind of
surreptitious support for
Fubara. So why do we call ourselves one people when we are divided between the lines?
Okay, I may have to interject now. At least to accommodate Chief Akpedo, who has just joined us on the program. And it's my pleasure to welcome him to the studio.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming.
Welcome, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Welcome very much, sir.
Okay. So, Edakpeno, you met us halfway.